He looks like he owns credit. Oh my gosh. Man like Arthur from Batman.
Namaste, dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Friday. You know what that means, don't you? It's my favorite day of the week. You know, I'm always excited on a Friday. Why? It's the anticipation of the weekend. Best day of the week for getting people out viewing, because the weekend is when people mostly go out and look for houses and flats to rent or buy. So how are you? I hope you're well. Had a great meeting last night at the Pollard Hill Residents Association meeting where we gave out an award to Mr. Tony Hooker, who's the chief and chair of Litter Free Norbury, and has done so much for the local area in terms of rubbish collection. Rolls up his sleeves. One of those community people, you know, because community is not really about bricks and mortar. It's really about the people within it, the characters, you know, the people that make up the local community. And one of the nice things about things like the community meeting is it brings together the whole melting pot of different people from different backgrounds and different opinions, you know. And I always think, you know, the echo chamber is the big danger these days, that we end up talking to people that are like us and we never get different opinions. And I love having my mind changed in those debates and discussions. I think it's a great, really I'm sorry, the mic went dead, but it just goes to prove that we are live, doesn't it? Not sure how much of that you heard. Shall I start again? Probably wise. Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Friday, the 28th of April, an exciting day. Why is it exciting? Well, it's a Friday, and you know I love a Friday, my favorite day of the week. Why is it my favorite day of the week? It's the anticipation of the weekend, the fact that the weekend's the busiest time for people viewing. So Friday's a really important day for us as agents to make sure we've got those appointments lined up, and if anyone's viewing, they're viewing our client's stock, not other agents' stock. So it's a big push on making sure that people are out viewing our stuff today. Things punters say and how we interpret them, I think it's quite something that you might find quite amusing. So I'll come on to that in a moment. My pleasure last night to host the award for the VIP of Norbury in the Pollard Hill Residents Association. Always a lovely meeting and always nice to meet the melting pot of different residents that make up the local area. And yeah, it's one of those things. I always love having my mind changed. And one of these meetings brings together people from different backgrounds, different cultures, all in one big melting pot. And I think it's really healthy. And I love having my mind changed in that way. You know, when someone says something you've never considered from that angle or from their perspective. And yeah, so most enjoyable. Thank you very much for that. And congratulations to Tony Hooker, by the way, as well, for the award for VIP of Norbury as nominated by the PHRA. Now, looking at the figures, as you can see from the scroll below me, rents are going nuts. We've said this for some time, but now it's official. Rightmove figures. Rent is up this month by 0.9% to an average of £2,500 a month. Yield is up to 5.1%, and that's a 14% increase year on year. Nuts, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. It's definitely the elephant in the room as far as government's concerned as well. Labour or Conservative, this is going to come home to roost, and it's going to be very soon as well. It's going to be a big political hot potato. There's lots of sound bites going on about how to attack the rogue landlords. And really what they should do is look at the number of rogue landlords and say whether this is something they really should be attacking in the way that they are. They'd be better off attacking the housing crisis rather than rogue landlords. I'll tell you why I say that. Not because it's not right that they attack rogue landlords. They should. But rogue landlords are such a small percentage of the landlords in the UK that it's ridiculous. They're a tiny percentage. Most landlords are decent people, just made an investment for their families and now are looking after it in order to return money to their families later on in life. They took a risk, and yes, some of them are profiting from it. Frankly, some of them are breaking even or worse, which is why we're seeing such a big supply come this year. Things that people say and how we as agents interpret them, things I've learned from the last 30 years, I think you might find amusing. Number one, when valuing a house, if a client is telling me what's wrong with it and how bad it is and how awful certain parts are, it's a divorce and they're the buying party. They want a low valuation. Number two, if the buyer says money, no problem, there's definitely a money problem. Number three, if a tenant says, I'll pay the rent for the next 2 years up front in cash, we translate that as, I want to start a drug farm in your landlord's house. And other things, when we find estate agents approaching us and saying, oh, I used to be an estate agent, and then that's normally preceded by knocking of all walls within the building, followed by a very low offer, which is unacceptable to the client. So I used to be an estate agent is a red flag to us many times before. When people say the house needs a lot of work, what they're really saying is I'm going to make a really low offer. Just a point as well on get rich quick investors. I mentioned this before, but there are lots of these guys with Ferraris that have gone bust recently. And you really do need to be careful out there, guys. The only people that get rich from these Ponzi-like schemes when they say, we can show you and teach you how to get these deals in property. The reality is property is a long game. It's not a short game. And the idea that you can go out there and make profit by paying someone that's leaning against their Ferrari or Lambo loads of money, frankly, the only one getting rich is them by you paying for their courses. And they probably never made any money from property in the first place. They're making it from you buying ridiculously expensive courses, which you could get for much less in proper educational environments. So just a word and shout out for that. Hope you enjoy your bank holiday. Nice to see a bank holiday coming again. Always exciting for that. It's my wife's birthday weekend as well. So we will be celebrating all that is fantastic about Maria. Looking forward to that. So I hope you have a nice weekend. Thanks ever so much for watching as always. Look after yourselves. And if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.